Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day leading up to Halloween and discuss it. Today we're talking about 2009's Zombieland, which was directed by Ruben Fleischer. I'm your co-host, Alec.
Oh, I'm Eric. Just kidding, it's Justin filling in for Eric.
Oh, I really thought Eric was here.
I know, right?
I was like, Eric, I thought you were gone for a couple days, but okay. Welcome back, Justin. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just watching some Zombieland.
Cleansing your palate of 13 ghosts with a little Zombieland?
Yeah, it was a hard taste to get out.
This is a fun movie, dude. This is just fun.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters when we were like 19 when it first came out, and I don't think I've seen it since.
Oh, I've definitely watched it. I want to say at least 5 times.
Yeah. Do you see the sequel too?
I did. It's good. Not nearly as good though.
Okay. Yeah, man, this is like a transitional period for like zombies in the zeitgeist of just like the media and stuff back then. Like this was right before Walking Dead. You know, this was like the year before Walking Dead. It's like right after Superbad and like Adventureland and Shaun of the Dead. So it's kind of this like weird period where zombies weren't like this. I feel like for the past 10 years, zombies just like ran shit. And this was kind of the beginning of that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite zombie movies, and I think it does a great job of mixing action and humor, which not a lot. I mean, there's like Shaun of the Dead, but
yeah,
which is kind of like this. But other than that, I mean, 24 hours later,
28 days later,
28 days later,
24 hours later,
28 days later, Dawn of the Dead. I mean, this is up there with some of my favorite zombie films.
Yeah, I mean, this one's very different than the ones you just mentioned, obviously, because it's a comedy. I mean, it's similar to Shaun of the Dead, but the reason that I like Shaun of the Dead a little bit more than this one is because, like, that's the beginning of the outbreak, and, like, they don't really know what's going on, and it's kind of played for laughs. This is, like, we're thrown deep into, like, months or years even after the zombie outbreak's happening. So they are very different. So if you like Shaun of the Dead and you want to see kind of, like, what would have happened, this is kind of a good place to go.
Yeah, this is just like the American version of Shaun of the Dead.
Right. And I wanted to ask you, because they don't really talk about this. This movie doesn't really do, like, and it's not like a bad job of it, but they don't really talk about, like, the world and, like, what's going on and, you know, all this stuff. They do say that it was caused by mad cow disease, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But do you think if there was a real zombie outbreak in America, do you think it would actually spread to the rest of the world?
You know what? While I was watching this, because I literally just finished it, I got, like, certain answers prepared because I knew you'd say something like, what would happen if this really happened? Like, do you think...
I don't sound like that.
Yeah, no.
Really happy if this really happened. That's not how I sound.
Do I think it would spread? I mean, probably. I think there'd probably be some remote islands that would be fine. But even if you have, like, one infected person on, like, a ferry going to, like, Martha's Vineyard, that whole island's fucked.
Yeah, because it's not like COVID where it's like, okay, you can spread it, but, like, you know, it's obvious people aren't turning into zombies. But, like, New Zealand, you know, I was thinking, like, places like that, or, like, Tasmania or Madagascar, you know, like, island countries. I think they'd be okay. I really do.
I don't know, man. I mean, all those countries still got COVID, even though, like one day on the news, they'd be like, New Zealand's literally not infected at all. And the next day, they'd be like, 38% rise overnight.
Right. That's the thing, though. It's just like, if it's like just a disease you spread by coughing, it's a little different than like somebody that's bloody and running at you dressed like a clown. Like you'd be like, all right, let's not let that guy on the plane. But yeah, it's a funny movie, and it really is like the beginning of Jesse Eisenberg's career, you know? And I kind of wanted to ask you about him. What do you think it was in Hollywood where they were just like, we don't want Michael Cera for this. We want like a basically alternate version of Michael Cera.
Dude, it's funny you say that because I was literally thinking while I started it, dude, what's his last name? Jesse Evans?
Eisenberg?
Jesse Eisenberg, him, Michael Cera, the dude who played McLovin. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hollywood went through this phase in like the mid-ish 2000s where they had like main actors that were like kind of like nerdy, dorky guys, like socially awkward dude. And I don't know why, it just like worked. Like, and then obviously they have Woody Harrelson as like the tough macho dude, other half. But I think Jesse Eisenberg did a great job. And I think his kind of like awkwardness made this movie like stand out.
Well, he's kind of like, he pokes fun at like the stuff of like I feel like Woody Harrelson's a character out of like a '90s action movie, and he's kind of like Jesse Eisenberg is like able to kind of make fun of him and like point out his flaws or whatever, and that's kind of like a 2000s thing where everybody got like snarky and sarcastic and just like self-referential and but.
Dude, when he said he looked like Yosemite, saying I laughed out loud, dude.
Yeah. I mean, they're a funny dynamic. You know, you like that whole character of, like, he's taken under his wing, and this is kind of like this redneck, alcoholic, gun-toting guy, and then this, like, very safe, cautious kind of guy. And yeah, it's a funny dynamic. It works.
Dude, the beginning.
What about it?
Amber Heard. When she came in, I was like, I completely forgot she was in this.
I did, too. This is, like, right before her career.
In my head, I was like, what a piece of shit. No pun intended.
Oh my god! Now every time you see her, you're just like, yeah, they should put a warning before this movie.
Dude,
Heard's in this.
If you pull down your pants and squat on your bed and poop on your bed, you can't just like people don't forget.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Like we're gonna be like 60 or something, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Amber Heard passed overnight in her sleep," and we're gonna text the group chat like 60 years old, be like, "Remember when she shit in Johnny Depp's bed?"
I wonder if she shit in her deathbed. Yeah, I know. Probably. Well, no, it doesn't help that her last name rhymes with turd. It doesn't. No, but that's like low hanging fruit. Oh, come on, you've heard that.
I know.
It just doesn't help. It doesn't help her case. But
I know.
Anyway. But that was a fun scene, you know, Amber Heard and all that aside. Like that was like the scene where she like attacks him. That's where he discovers that's what a zombie is. Mm-hmm. You know, that was kind of nice to see like a World of Warcraft red Mountain Dew Code Red drinking pizza eating guy. Like I don't know, we weren't those guys, but I like those kind of guys.
Yeah, I feel like when Eric saw that scene where he was drinking Code Red eating pizza, he'd be like, "Oh yeah."
He's like, "Oh yeah, dude. Back when there's only 2 flavors, I remember that.
Code Red."
Yep, dude. That was before they introduced Baja Blast and Citrus Thing. And
I mean, dude, you've had Code Red, right?
Yeah.
Dude, drinking Code Red, like I remember as a kid, it would like hurt my throat because the acid was like ripping my skin off. I was like, it's good.
Yeah, Mountain Dew is pretty gross. But I liked Code Red because they like paired it with Halo 2. Or no, it was Gamer Fuel, the Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel. And it was like Halo 3. It's like, if you're playing Halo 3 and not drinking this, you fucking suck. You're like, all right. Like, shit. And then you drink it and you think you like get better at the game. Like, yeah, I remember those days. So it's nice to see that. This was kind of like a reminiscent film for me. Like a lot of nostalgia. Because I mean, like, this is old now. It's like 12 or 13 years old.
I know. I didn't realize it was 2009.
Yeah. You know how I knew it was 2009? Fat shaming. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah. That won't happen anymore. But I mean, they're technically right, though. Like, if a zombie apocalypse broke out, the people who could not get away fastest would be eaten first.
I mean, yeah. That's just like, yeah. It's very obvious. That's exactly what happened. You know, a couple things about this movie, though, that I did, as a comedy, so they're not obviously going to play up the realism or whatever, but, like, when they were in the grocery store, they just go looking for Twinkies, and they didn't take any other food with them when they leave.
Dude, there was so much food in there. Like, when they went to the grocery store, I saw in the back left, they had a full box of Ritz crackers, and I'm like, that's, like, easily a couple of days worth of food, and they had all this stuff, and I was thinking to myself, like, I think if this really happened in real life, there would be no food because I don't know how things were out in LA, but when like COVID was at like its height here, it was hard to find non-perishable food items. Like I remember going to the store, just, you know, my weekly shopping trip, and I'd go to get some pasta because I'm Italian. And
of course, yeah.
There was like literally no boxes left. And I'm like, who the fuck's eating all this pasta? And then it dawned on me that people are buying like 30 boxes at a time to save up. And I'm like, I just want pasta for dinner. Like,
yeah.
So
well, I remember, I mean, they got rid of this now, but out here they had like you can only buy 2 of these per day or whatever, so they like were rationing out what you could buy. But you'd think in this movie, it's like if you're in a zombie apocalypse, you'd be like, all right, we got a pickup truck or whatever, we got a big truck, throw a bunch of shit in the back, not just even the snowballs when they get the Twinkie truck. I'm like, dude, take a couple of those.
I would take literally everything.
Yeah, I don't know what they're so like. There were little things where like The Walking Dead comes out the next year, and they're obviously like, we got to go on a supply run, and that's like a whole episode. So you're like, okay, but this one was just kind of like it was for fun. It was all fun.
Well, getting back to the beginning, this got a 7.6 on IMDb.
Wow.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but in the beginning, when he stopped to get gas, right? Mm-hmm. He got out of his car. It was locked because if you remember, he tried to open it and then dropped the keys because he was fumbling. But then when he got in the car, there was a zombie in the back seat. How did it get in the back seat if it was locked?
I don't think it was locked.
Remember, dude, he put the key in the lock and tried to turn it, and he fumbled it and dropped it. So how did it get in there?
I maybe missed it, but I thought what happened was the door was always unlocked. He left the door to his car unlocked. Then he went to go put the key in, and he like missed because he thought it was locked, but because he did, you know, he's following his rules. So he goes and he's like, fuck, I don't, and he drops the keys because he can't get it into the actual like lock or whatever. But it was already unlocked, and there was a zombie in the back.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically it was unlocked.
Yeah.
That means from the time he got out and walked to the door to take a shit, a zombie came in, opened it, sat down, and closed it.
Right. That's why this is a comedy. Like,
it doesn't make sense.
No, and then if this was like 28 days later, people would be like, that's bullshit. But in this movie, you suspend your, you know, disbelief because you're just like, it's fun. We're having fun. There's text on the screen following them as they run. It's fun. So, yeah, but that's the thing. So, I mean, I don't think you can look into this movie too much for, like, realism of zombies. But I mean, whatever that sentence means. But if you're like trying to like look at like a survival thing, this is more of like the popcorn, bubblegum, just we're having fun kind of movie.
Oh, yeah. And it does a great job because, like I said, there's plenty of good action. I like his little, like, nervous, awkward rules that he has that he's used to survive. Yeah. Because you wouldn't think someone like him who just plays computer games previously would survive in this event.
But, you know, it's kind of weird because I was thinking about it, like, in a weird way, zombies specifically, not like if there was like a real like apocalypse, but like zombie apocalypse, people that play a lot of video games might have a little bit of an advantage. Like if you love The Walking Dead, if you love zombie movies, if you love zombie video games and all that stuff, you might think outside the box a little bit.
That's true.
You know, I'm not saying you'd be better, but you might think outside the box a little bit more than the average person that doesn't. I don't know. But also, this movie really did remind me so much of these, like, awesome, fun, co-op zombie video games, dude. I mean, brought me right back to, like, remember, like, Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, Left 4 Dead was incredible.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the Left 4 Dead movie, almost. Like, you get your 4 teammates, you've all got your specialties, all these different zombies in different environments, like, and it's just like an arcade game. It's just fun. That's kind of what this movie was for me.
I also like when Woody Harrelson and Jesse meet on the highway, and they both are holding their guns to each other, and then Jesse like awkwardly sticks his thumb out for hitchhiking, and then he looks at his thumb. Like, it was just, I don't know why I found that so funny.
Well, it's just very clearly defined characters right from the start. I mean, you can see Jesse Eisenberg shaking with the gun, and then, you know, Woody Harrelson's just like, okay, this kid's not a threat, get in the car, sort of thing.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you, and I might have missed this. So we've got Wichita, Tallahassee, Columbus, and Little Rock. Are they all named after where they're born or where they're from or going?
I think it's where they're from.
Okay. I would have liked it better if they were, like, where they were born. Because, like, if you and I, let's say, like, we met up, it's like, oh, where are you from? It's like, we're both named Hartford. You know, and, like, that would have gone weird. But if we're saying where we're born, where are you born, Justin?
What? Why would any of that matter?
Because if we're following the rules of the movie, where were you born?
If we're following the rules of the movie, I would be Manhattan, I guess.
Okay, that's cool. You're like a gargoyle guy. That's cool.
I suppose. Yeah.
You're Manhattan. I'd be New Britain.
Oh.
They call me New Britain. Yeah, so you, all right. Yeah, because I feel like Hartford's kind of a cool name. If your name was Hartford, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, like having it as a name, not living there, obviously.
No. But what would be like the worst name you could be like? That's Salt Lake City.
That'd be a long name to like, if there's an emergency and you have to scream for somebody.
Salt Lake City, get over here.
I don't know.
New Brunswick.
That's
New Brunswick. Because you have to call them their whole name. You can't just say that. Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I feel like Reno's a cool one. Like, I've heard that one before. Texas is just, like, fun. Again, everybody's Texas. Brooklyn, there's always the Brooklyn. But I like how they mix it up. Tallahassee, that's a random. But it sounds good on Woody Harrelson.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is very, very Woody Harrelson at, like, his finest, I feel like. Just Southern, drinking, wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I loved it. Like he had so many funny one-liners. Like when he said, "Who's Bill Murray?" and then he said, "You want to feel how hard I can punch?" It was like,
Oh yeah, he's like that was 45%.
oh yeah, oh my, no, it wasn't "Who's Bill Murray." Shit, I forgot what. But that line of "You want to feel how hard I can punch," I was like, that's such a like that's what that character would say.
Yeah, I think the Bill Murray stuff was my favorite part of the whole movie, though. I mean, he definitely had my favorite lines, but dude, when he's about to die and it's like, "Do you have any regrets?" and he just goes, "Garfield, maybe." That is the best line in the movie to me, dude. That movie is stuck out. I remember that line before. Like that's the only thing about this movie I really remember actually is that line and how they actually got him. I was like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming that's one of his worst performances.
Garfield,
Yeah.
he did too.
Oh,
He did two of them. I don't know. I'm assuming it was a big paycheck, but I
well,
don't know.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't do a lot of movies, so he must have really, for some reason, liked this. Maybe because he was like playing himself. I don't know why he would have done this otherwise.
I don't know. I'm assuming he's probably still making money off Ghostbusters, right?
I mean, I don't know. He didn't. He just acted in that, so I'm not really sure if he makes that much.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, he's done other stuff. Like he owns like baseball teams, not like professional ones, but he owns like minor league baseball teams, and he's got a lot of weird ways of income. He was also I saw him golfing at the PGA in Cromwell once.
Really?
Yeah, he's like an actual like I don't want to say professional golfer, maybe he is, but he plays PGA tours. It's like celebrity golf.
Hmm. I also thought it was funny when they meet Emma Stone and the sister in the grocery store, and it's the end of the world. Most people are dead, and Emma Stone has like perfect makeup on, like her eyelashes are dyed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the thing. They could have gone farther, and like I want to know how long it's been, because like Jesse Eisenberg has no facial hair. They never talk about how he shaves. You're right, like Emma Stone's all dolled up and everything. So you're kind of like, where are the priorities here? What are the
Yeah,
priorities?
it could be a few months, it could be a few years.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with at least a month, at least.
Yeah.
But I think I noticed when they go to that big Chinese theater in Hollywood, which is where I saw Top Gun. But anyways, so I think it said 2012. You remember that John Cusack movie?
Which John Cusack movie?
Remember the one that was like 2012 where it's like the end of the
Oh,
world and he
yeah,
like
yeah.
steals a plane and like flies it through like the city and you're like, what the fuck is this movie? But
Right, yeah.
I think that was the last movie that ended there. And I don't know what year did that come out in 2012, the movie? And that was 2009, yeah. Okay, so it probably, like, the movie takes place, or it came out in 2009. It seems like it takes place in 2009, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's been that long.
I don't know. One of Woody's funnier lines is when he said he compared Bill Murray to Gandhi. He's like, that's like saying I don't know who Gandhi is.
Yeah, Bill Murray and Gandhi.
A comedian to Gandhi.
Yeah, I mean, do you think, like, an average 12-year-old in 2009 would know who Bill Murray was?
No.
Really?
I mean, you would only know if your parents made you watch Ghostbusters.
Caddyshack?
Even if you saw Garfield, like, what are they going to look up the actor who played the cat?
Right. Like, Daddy, who's the voice of that cat? And it's like, oh, well, let's talk about it. And in fact, let me show you his filmography. No, yeah, well, but I mean, dude, like, think about it. Like, he was in Groundhog's Day. Like, I even liked him in Osmosis Jones. Like, he was in Kingpin. Like, he was such a big comedic actor from, like, SNL until, like, I don't know, 2003-ish. Like, he was huge.
Yeah, but that was back then.
I know. So much has changed. Nobody knows who Bill Murray is. Movie did very well though. This movie was made for 23 million and it made 102. So you're kind of I'm a little surprised they waited this long because the sequel came out 10 years later. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they waited so long, and I'm also not sure, like, the second one just seemed like they didn't try as hard. The ending with like that weird group of people, it was just kind of odd. I don't know.
I didn't see it, yeah, so I don't
You didn't
really.
see the second one?
No, I have it on DVD actually. I got like the 2-pack when I left my job. They're like, "You want this?" I was like, "Okay." So I had Zombieland 1 and 2 on DVD. Dude, I'm reading here right now. It's even blowing my mind more. Like, so in 2009, this was before World War Z. So this became the top-grossing zombie film of all time after it surpassed Dawn of the Dead. So it's just like what the hell were they thinking? It's like right after this Walking Dead comes out, and then the whole decade basically gets dominated by zombies and stuff like that, and then they're just like, well, I guess we'll come back like as it's winding down.
The only thing I can think of is maybe one of the main actors didn't want to do it or was doing something else. Or maybe they didn't want to make another one because they felt, the market was too saturated with zombie stuff. But
yeah, I think you might be right about that. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's strange when you think something kicks something off and then they kind of just like abandon it.
I was just looking at the budget for the second one. The budget was $42 million, wow. And gross it made $122 again.
What the hell?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's I don't know what they're thinking. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So apparently this was originally pitched as a TV show. And they wanted to film it as a TV show. And when Abigail Breslin and Emma Stone steal their car the first time and drive away, that's where they wanted the pilot to end. And they were going to kind of go from there. What do you think? Do you think this could have worked as like a miniseries, or do you think it would have got played out after a while?
No, I think they could have done like a 8 or 10 part miniseries where it just follows the characters. Dude, I'm looking at Abigail Breslin's. I didn't even recognize her. Her current picture looks so different. She's not a little girl anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could work. But again, at the time Walking Dead came out, then they came out with Fear of the Walking Dead, and there was just a lot of zombie stuff going on.
Yeah. Another thing I was noticing about this movie, which is I think what makes it better as a movie and not a TV show, there's like no other characters in this movie. There's like, they don't bump into anybody. It's like once they bump into Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin, like that's the team. And the only other person that they ever talk to is Bill Murray. Yeah,
there's technically only 5 non-zombie people that are like in the movie.
Right. I mean, what's his face? Amber Heard, but like this is before the zombie apocalypse started. So after we meet Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson, that's it. Like it's kind of weird. You'd think they'd bump into like, give us your guns or something, and like the zombies would kill like some random group of mercenaries or whoever that come after them. That never happens. So it's very insulated on these 4 characters.
Yeah, well, the second one is completely different, but
I mean, it has to be. It has to be.
I like it though, and I think they did a good job because you kind of get attached to the characters. Like, Emma Stone's just protecting her younger sister, and you feel bad for Jesse because he's just trying to get back home to his parents and try and live a normal life, even though he probably knows deep down they're dead.
Yeah.
And then, Woody Harrelson is just trying to kill as many zombies as possible to get back at them for his puppy, who you then find out is actually his son. And
right. Yeah, they all have little character things. One thing I want to know about Woody Harrelson, though, is like he's going for the top kill of the week or whatever. How do they know? He's like, oh, actually, that goes to that lady that killed him with the piano. Like, how does he know that?
Yeah, unless they have like long-range walkie-talkies or something. I don't know.
And then they just make it up. It's not like there's like a TV show where it's like, oh, the kill of the week. Like, no, it's just, yeah. So that was, whatever. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Oh, let me ask you this. I looked it up, or I watched a YouTube video about it. How many deaths do you think happened in this movie? Zombies and people in total. If you had to guess. 1.5-hour movie, you saw what was going on, the carnage.
Well, Amber Heard died. Bill Murray died. That's 2. And then zombie-wise...
Yeah, if you had to take a guess, because you saw what's going on. There's fucking people getting murdered.
A lot died at the carnival. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say a total of like 80 to 100.
Not too bad. So, it's 116.
Okay.
In total. This guy it's called the kill count.
He literally counted each one.
Dude, it's amazing. So there's a show called Dead Meat, and it's the best, and basically he does a kill count of all these movies, and he just watches them, and he talks about the deaths, and dude, it's so good. But yeah, he counted it 116, which is that's a lot, it's kind of crazy. So, I was going to ask you, too, something a little personal, because you're a lifter, Justin. You like to work out. You go to the gym a lot. You're a guy.
Oh, I would be one of the first ones to die.
Well, okay, that's not what I was going to ask, but good to know. I was going to ask you, if this was happening, and you're like, zombies are happening, you still going to lift, bro?
I don't think it would be a main priority at the time. Also, you'd want to be as light as possible so you can run away.
Right. So like, they're not going to be downstairs trying to sleep, and they hear you upstairs doing push-ups. Like, what's that creaking? And you're like, I'm fucking doing push-ups. Like, stop it. It's so loud. So you're not going to do that?
I would not do that, no.
When you're at, like, they're at the grocery market. Like, where's Justin? You, like, break into a GNC to steal, like, whey protein powder. That's not going to be you?
No.
They're like, this is not important, Justin. You're like, it is to me and my biceps.
Even when the world's ending, gotta get gains.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was thinking about it like, vegetarian, proud vegetarian. No, no, I would immediately, dude. I'd be like, give me a fucking, like, pepperoni pizza, dude. I don't give a shit anymore. If there's a zombie apocalypse, all your morals go out the window. You don't care about anything anymore.
No.
No, I'm going to start smoking menthols just because. Start doing dip.
You're like, you know what? I'm not going to recycle. I don't even care.
Oh, no. I don't care about anything, dude. I don't want that to ever happen, but...
I wouldn't be too mad.
You wouldn't be too mad if it was a zombie apocalypse?
Nah.
Really?
Yeah, it's alright.
I mean, I feel like if people hate their jobs, they're kind of like, honestly, that looks fucking better than my job.
I would like some notice, though, so you could prepare. Like,
oh, that's how it works, yeah.
Yeah, like, so you could live kind of remotely and have, like, food and guns. If it just, like, happened one day, you'd be fucked.
That's literally how it would happen.
Yeah,
it would just happen one day. They're not going to be like, by the way, guys, it's not like Dragon Ball Z where they're like, the Saiyans are coming. We have 6 months to prepare. Like, it's not going to happen. That's a deep reference. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously they're fun video games. Like, I love zombie video games, and zombie movies are fun, but they've never been my like go-to for horror. But really enjoy them. I remember, this is just weird, but I had an ex-girlfriend, and she would say that to help her fall asleep, she would think about like zombies being outside, and like she was protected. Like, she's like, we're in like a safe house or something like that. So that's how she would get comfort to fall asleep, is thinking zombies were outside.
That is pretty weird.
I won't say who, but... But anyways, I don't know, you got any last minute thoughts, or you want to rate this bad boy?
I feel like 7.6 was kind of low for the highest grossing zombie film of all time.
Well, no, at the time, not of all time. At that time it was.
Oh, what beat it?
World War Z.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I would say... I'm trying not to be biased because I like Woody Harrelson and zombie movies. I'm going to say 8.3. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. I'm going to go 7.8.
Okay, you're a piece of shit.
I liked it. I mean, if you like zombie movies and you just want to kind of check out and just like be like, that's fun. Like, yeah, watch it. It's not, but I prefer like 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, that kind of stuff. But, and also like if I'm going comedy zombie, I still go Shaun of the Dead, but this is fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, definitely. You should see the second one though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone's gonna like this movie.
All right. Well, what do you say we spin the wheel then, Justin?
Sure.
Okay. Ready? Spinning. All right. So this will be Eric and I, and we're doing Halloween 2 from 1981. So we're going back in time, but yeah, I'm glad we're doing Halloween because Halloween Ends is coming out soon, so it'll be good to stay in the spirit. You ever seen that one?
Which one? Halloween Ends?
No, Halloween 2.
Probably.
Where she's in the hospital.
Yeah, dude, I feel like all those movies are the same.
No, they're not, Justin.
What are they called? Halloween, the Jason movies. It's just like a dude with a knife and machete. I don't know.
That's how I feel about Fast and the Furious. I'm like, it's a bunch of bald dudes grunting and getting in cars, and like family gets mentioned a lot, You're like, I remember it was so funny one time you laughed. You're like, there's no series that needs 9 movies. I was like, you love Fast and the Furious, and you were just like, but not with that machete guy. I'm like, all right.
Listen, in my defense, only the first 2 Fast and the Furious were good.
Whoa.
And maybe Tokyo Drift.
That needs to be cemented on your gravestone. Justin Willickson, yeah. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening in to our discussion on Zombieland today. If you want to check out 13 Ghosts, that came out yesterday. And then we will see everybody tomorrow with Halloween 2, 1981.
All right.